Yeah, I do feel like this is going to be more of what's going to be happening here with the league, especially with these trades. I think the trade trend is back.
Yeah, before the draft, I've never seen that many trades before, even after.
Oh, I was going to give you a camera note. You should look at the camera more.
I should look at the camera more.
Yeah, when you're making your point, it's good for eye line. I feel like because if you're doing a lot of like directing at me, it works only if we're situated where we have to look at each other, like on the couch.
Okay.
But in terms of the people who are not watching this,
it's good to look at them.
yeah. So what I would say is like this: oh well, the Human Torch was denied for a bank loan today. He applied to start a cafe at that way. It's sort of like
gotcha.
Here's your take, and then you like pan it back to me. But it's like I hear that you hate all superheroes, and that would be like your take. And I don't hate superheroes, by the way. I think the Human Torch is pretty cool. Dumb fans, you got dumb fans here. You got Amro, you got Harp doing another episode. Free agent frenzy. We were just talking about some of the big signings here. Another updated signing. We had Andre Kuzmenko sign a 1-year, $5 million. This guy has found the cheat code in the NHL, I feel like.
I think that the first season with Vancouver really put him on the map. Like, I mean, him and Pedersen, they had great chemistry. He moves from there. Did he go down to LA?
Had great chemistry with Kempe.
Yeah, had great chemistry. He keeps scoring. He puts the puck in the net, and that's what you want. Now he gets a shot with Pittsburgh. It was $5 million. I think that's. I mean, I guess this is a new trend. I think that's overpaying for him, but
scoring's a premium, right?
Yeah.
Right shot guy, 30 years old.
So what's wrong with DeBrusk? Why isn't people knocking on Vancouver's door going, hey, what's the price for DeBrusk?
Oh, so we're talking about Vancouver, the connection?
I'm just, as a little personal take here, my team, I would like to see DeBrusk moved for some assets, and for some reason, he still hasn't been moved.
Yeah.
And guys like Kuzmenko are getting $5 million in Pittsburgh. DeBrusk is better than Kuzmenko.
Yeah. So DeBrusk sucks.
Yeah, I know what your take is on DeBrusk.
He blows, okay? One disappointing signing coming out from Boston. And I think this is one of those situations where, again, you have a general management team that overreads talent and bring in guys at a point in time when you have a guy who's your top ticket centerman struggling. So you go and bring in a guy who isn't capable of generating opportunities on his own here. He needs someone to do that for him.
But
there's too many guys like that on this team.
But he puts the puck in the net, which we were just talking about with Kuzmenko.
Okay.
Kuzmenko doesn't do it by himself, but he can put the puck in the net.
While we're having this conversation, you pull up his.
That's exactly what I did.
Stats. Go ahead.
Because
I'll tell you, this is the issue that we're having with the Canucks top six. The Canucks top six has a bunch of guys who are very talented, but are incapable of making decisions on the ice to generate play. Okay, it's a lot of pass the puck around. And to be honest with you, we have not had a coaching staff get the most out of these guys in quite some time. I'm curious to see what the Malhotra does with his team, especially if his son makes the team, maybe adds a little bit of youth into the top six. But as it sits right now, I don't see a lot in terms of generating offense. What do you have there?
So DeBrusk, when he came from Boston, that first season with Vancouver, he scored 28 goals.
28 goals.
Just shy of 30. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty good on a bad Canuck team. Mm-hmm. The year after this year, he had 23 goals.
23 goals, okay.
And he was probably the most productive goal scorer for Vancouver. Maybe Besser was a little better.
Yeah. On the special teams,
but he puts the puck in the net. And who cares where it's at? Like he's doing his job and putting the puck in the net. Like we're talking about Kuzmenko, he can't do it himself either. He just puts the puck in the net. This is what DeBrusk is doing too.
Sure, fine. I'll give you all that. But I'll say this right now. He's not a Canuck. He's not a Vancouver Canuck. He needs to go somewhere else. And you could probably get a premium for the guy. I mean, I think a first rounder does seem fair. I mean, you got a first round pick for Bowen Byram. You got a first round pick for who was the guy that also moved out? It's escaped me. But it seems like the first round pick doesn't seem as high quality an asset as it used to be. So yeah, you could probably get yourself a late round first round pick for the guy. The question though becomes fit, and everybody else is seeing what we're seeing, when you see a guy like him play is that he's not a play driver. He's a great finisher. So where is he going to go with guys who can drive play, right? Where's the fit? So if I'm Vegas, if I've got the pieces to make it work, I probably would bring him in to replace Dorofeev.
Well, Dorofeev left. You know? Why not bring him
I'm an
in?
up-and-coming team like Utah, if I'm a team like Columbus, why aren't these teams looking to try and acquire? Because they don't want to acquire salary. That's the issue right now, okay? Not because Columbus doesn't have the space, but because Columbus sucks. Okay, they don't spend the money. That's the problem that they have over there. They have an apathetic team. So the idea of going to go grab pieces, middle six guys. He's a middle six guy. I'm sorry, but he's not someone who's going to just move the needle for you. I feel like.
But I think the problem with Columbus as well is the same problem Carolina has. No one wants to play there. Who wants to go to Columbus and play on a mediocre team?
Yeah. So
Carolina wins the cup and still people don't want to go.
That's true.
Who's going to want to go to Columbus?
That's very true. Honestly, if I'm Carolina, I'm probably knocking on the door to get a guy like DeBrusk. He might be a guy who fits Rob Brindamore's profile. But again, there's more mediocre teams right now asking themselves, are we competitive enough to be adding salary? Because even though the cap is going up, that doesn't mean owners want to spend to the cap. There really is a small percentage of teams in the league with owners who have deep pockets, right?
And that are going to do it for the market as well. Like every Canadian market's going to probably go to the cap.
Yeah, true.
Or close to it.
If I'm Columbus, if I'm like a team like the Islanders, or if I'm a team like I look at Carolina, they won the cup, $12 million under the cap, and now all these owners are like, okay, Moneyball is back. We can like put together a team, and there's a difference though. You had a culture of winning. You don't have a culture of winning in a place like Columbus. In fact, the culture of Columbus is that when's Pittsburgh going to come in so we can fill out our arena? that when's Philly coming in to fill out our arena? That is the culture in Columbus. You want to be a winner, yeah, you got to spend some money, but you also need to bring in a winning culture, and I think Rick Bowness does that for them. So they would be the target for me. Reunite Garland with DeBrusk, maybe that could be a situation for that you bring.
So speaking of Columbus, there's been a lot of rumors of a Werenski being moved this summer. And a lot of teams are interested. You got Tampa Bay, Toronto, Dallas. He turned down a deal in Dallas that was almost.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was almost finalized, but he said he doesn't want to go there. He vetoed the trade.
He didn't want to go to Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really, really interesting to me. I feel like maybe a situation where he's playing. There's too many cooks there. There's a lot of good defensemen on that team.
Well, they would have moved out Harley. Harley was a package of going back, so it would be like Heiskanen would be obviously your top. To him and Werenski top pairing.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty deadly top pairing.
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to be a part of that, unless he doesn't think he would be on that first power play unit, because Heiskanen gets that.
Yeah, I mean, I could also be fair. A lot of these guys always want to be like the go-to, right? So it could be a situation of fit. I could see it in Toronto, especially because Riley's not a top pairing defenseman anymore. So he could be a solid top four and play behind Werenski. I think
if Toronto gets Werenski, as we were just talking on the last episode of like where Toronto's at.
Yeah.
If Toronto gets Werenski, depending on what they pay for him, they're a playoff team. They're a contending team.
They're a playoff team now.
They're a
playoff team now.
They're a contending team at that point. Yeah, they're on they're fighting for a playoff spot still because of that division.
Well, what are we talking about here with the East? Well, we just outlined, Florida.
I get it.
Florida has to muscle out somebody.
I get that. Florida, that division, Florida is your top, the top team in that division.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay is probably number 2 still.
Like you look at Ottawa made it, Buffalo made it. They weren't supposed to make it, they made it. So one of those guys you have to think probably gets muscled out.
Montreal's in that division too.
Montreal is going to be a contender.
Yeah. So there's your top 3 for that division.
Yeah.
Like Florida, Tampa Bay, and let's say Montreal. Then so you're playing for a wild card position now.
Yeah.
Toronto. That's what I'm saying is that they're still going to be fighting for that because their division is so tough. They're still going to be fighting for a playoff spot, depending on obviously like what the wild card looks like.
Yeah, true. I just think there's enough people that suck. Okay, there's a lot of teams that suck. Right? Columbus, you suck. All right. Philly sucks too. I don't care what anybody says. Like Philly
made the playoff.
Philly made, exactly. That's my point. There's so many bad teams.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
just a
And
situation.
Pittsburgh. I don't know how Pittsburgh made the playoffs.
I actually don't know how Pittsburgh didn't advance further in the playoffs. I don't
Right.
think.
I think they should. Philly looked so fast in that Pittsburgh series
Until they played Carolina.
Until they played
they're a little
Carolina.
slow,
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So, I mean, that's the thing, right? You probably have 2, maybe 3 teams who are the Giants, and then everybody else is just kind of like going through the motions and trying to like advance enough points so that they get in. But even then, it doesn't look like the league right now looks to me a situation where there's just not enough talent and there's not enough money to really put together a roster. That's why I gotta give it to Florida. Florida just a bit like, no, we're gonna try and outspend everybody. We're gonna try and make the trades that we need. How can you not say tip to tail they're not a favorite right now? They look more of a favorite than Colorado.
Everybody wants to go to Florida. Like people are fighting to get into Florida. They have that luxury. Yeah, you're right. They're the team to beat right now, even though they didn't make the playoffs last year.
Like Dallas is supposed to be a contender. If I'm Morensky, I'm believing Columbus to go to Dallas. I'd probably go to Dallas.
I would go in a heartbeat.
Unless he really wants to go to Toronto and he wants to play with his
Or
buddy Matt.
Tampa.
Oh, Tampa too?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tampa would be interesting as well. I feel like the Matthews...
Hedman leaving. Wierenski's your next guy.
Sure, I can see that. I mean, the connection with Matthews and Werenski winning the gold medal, I could see that situation where
Yeah.
they get reunited. And, you know, an American wanting to go to a Canadian team would be a nice change of pace.
That would be. Unfortunately, it's in Toronto, but I do like that aspect of it.
See, Oliver Bjorkstrand going to the New York Rangers. We're talking about the Canucks, right? The Canucks, why were they not in on this? Like a 1-year deal at 4.5?
Yeah.
You know, there's a right shot guy, has good speed, character dude, and you play up and down the lineup. You know, you're not going to go and make a home run trade to get yourself a top line winger, which is what Pettersson needs, as is needed for the past 3 years. So why not try and throw your hat in and try and I think they're looking to save some money or spend some money at this point. I'm not really sure, but you know, for them, if they're looking to move to Brusque, and it sounds like they are, that seems like the top priority right now.
Yeah, I think Canucks are the way they brought in Gallagher and now Luke Shen. I think they're building a lot more just the room itself, a different culture, different voice, veteran guys. I think they're doing it right that way. But yes, you're right. They still need someone to play with Pettersson.
Yeah, or just trade him and put him out of his misery.
I think Vancouver is going to regret that because I still believe in Petey and he's going to be a very good player for a different team. If he gets moved, he's going to be back at that 100-point mark.
Yeah. So I'd say because talent is at such a premium, teams would line up to try and get a guy like him.
Especially centerman.
Yeah, centerman too. So if I'm Montreal, if I'm Carolina
makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
He's a two-way guy. He plays defensive. He's very good defensively.
Yeah.
That fits what they're made of.
Can he get in? I would have said no if he fits with Roddy, but it seems like Taylor Hall made it work. So, this is a question of character, right? Is Pettersson able to have an off season where he can get himself ready to play for a team like Carolina?
Brendan Moore is going to bring him in without his shirt off and go, if you can't do this, if you can't work with this, then there's some issues.
I feel like Rod Brendan Moore takes his shirt off in every negotiation. Like he's buying a Honda Civic, he's just shirtless. And he's like, so you said that undercover package was included with the car, right? He's flexing at the sales guy, and he's like, you know what? You just want to stand in the cup? You have this car for free. I'm like, that's what I thought. Thank you. Do you ever get that undercar?
In the coating?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's undercoating. It's supposed to help with it. You should get it.
Oh. Comment below on the undercoating on the car, guys. Let us know if that's something you just recently bought a car, you get the undercoating. Let us know if it's worth it, right? Because I'm in the market to buy a car myself, and if that's something I should be doing.
So I think the biggest non-player signing has to be the Oilers. They
I've
signed.
not done anything, eh?
They signed Babcock.
Oh, that's right. They signed Babcock.
They signed Babcock, and no one wants to go there now, as you can tell. Is that a coincidence? That there's been all these sightings, and Edmonton's been dead quiet?
Yeah. If I'm Edmonton, do I make a trade for PD?
No.
No? I mean, I think the Canucks would listen on a deal from anybody.
Yeah, they would, but if Petey goes to Edmonton, Babcock's picking on Petey for sure. Like he's the one that he's gonna be like, all right, give me your phone. This is mandatory.
I honestly think that Babcock we're gonna see the best version of himself this time out with Edmonton. I don't think he's gonna be able to do his same tricks because now the book's out on him.
True, but now just seeing a trend. I know it's early into July 1st here, but Edmonton's quiet. Could this be like no one wants to go to Edmonton because of Babcock?
Well, let's think about that for a second. They're working on a Darnell Nurse trade, right? So
who wants to take Darnell Nurse? That's another thing.
Well, hey, here's the thing, right? Again, talent is at a premium. So if you got yourself a top 4 defenseman who's available, left shot, can work on the power play, is a great skater.
Is he top 4?
He's top 4. He's been a top 4 defenseman on a Stanley Cup contending team the past
And
3
what's
years.
his salary? He's at like
9.5.
9.5.
9.5, yeah.
So that Byram deal looks pretty good now with compared to the Nurse one.
There are a lot of examples of bad contracts you can put up against a bad contract. Sure. Byram at 12.5 is a bad contract. Unless he proves something.
I think that's a great.
Unless he proves me wrong.
And I think he will. I mark my words. We'll go back to this this episode when Byron's a top guy and he's putting up points.
Okay. So as it sits right now, Byron was getting paid more than Quinn Hughes. Is he a better defenseman than Quinn Hughes?
Well, okay. Quinn Hughes took a very good deal with Vancouver at the time, a short-term
Took
deal.
a huge pay cut for 6 years.
He did, but now he's going to get paid. Now he's going to be 17, 18 million.
Sure. I don't think he's going to be 18, but I think
It'll be 17
It'll be.
for
I think he's at the 14 million. That'll be like a haircut for him.
Oh, I think he's going to get 17.
You think he's going to pull Kaprizov on Minnesota?
I think
he's going to give him a discount to play in Minnesota.
How many times can a guy give a discount? He gave a discount to Vancouver.
Yeah.
You think he's going to give another discount on his contract? When is he going to get his money? When is he going to get paid?
First off, that was strategic. He gave him a cap-friendly deal because he knew he was going to be asking for a trade at some point. And the second thing, $14 million a year. He'd be one of the highest paid defensemen of all time. There hasn't been any defenseman to crack that barrier.
Well, McCarr's contract's coming to an end soon.
Yeah.
He's going to get paid. Hughes is going to get paid, and I think Hughes' contract's going to be...
It's not the NBA where a player just maxes out his deal because he can. It's hockey. These guys take haircuts. Kaprizov is the only guy who's got... no, bro. Max deal. Max. M.
Max deal or I walk.
Yeah, that's all his contract said, max deal. And then Bill Guerin was like... We talked about this. You can't just give me a paper that says max on it. Okay? Where's your agent? He's gone, bro.
But he can do that.
He just showed up shirtless with Rod Brindamore in the back. He's doing crunches. I'm just here. Don't worry about me. I just want to see what money looks like. We don't have that in Carolina. Kaprizov, you want to come play in Carolina?
No. No.
We just want a cup. It's like, what's the difference between playing in Carolina and playing in Minnesota? I don't even know where Minnesota is, bro. I just play hockey. I really think that's just how Kaprizov wanders and meanders through life. It's like, I play here, I play there. Max, bro.
But I honestly think though Hughes is getting a bit 17 million.
Man, Hughes is not gonna go. Hughes is not gonna sit there and have Kaprizov in his ear.
Kaprizov's getting 17 and a half or 17.
Max deal. He's at the time it was 17.
It was 17. Okay, so then let's put it a little bit lower, 16 and a half for Hughes.
Quinn Hughes is gonna sit there with his brother's Jack, and he's going, Max. Yeah, Max. I want Max deal. I can see Jack Hughes doing that. I can definitely see Jack Hughes do that. I can see Jack Hughes going to New Jersey's office, looking them in their eye, being like, I've accomplished nothing, but you're going to pay me max because I'm Jack Hughes. Name tag.
The only reason why I wouldn't see Quinn Hughes take a max deal is if, or not even a max deal, like 16 million or higher, is if he plans to do something with his brothers to reunite, and they're figuring that out. That's
back to my point then. Discount. So I think he's going
discount only for his brothers, not discount for the team to do something else. I think it would be a brother discount to try to get his brothers there, or him go somewhere with his brothers.
hold on a second here. I think we're overvaluing what Kaprizov did here to everybody in the league. McDavid took a discount, right?
McDavid took a discount.
McDavid's
but
the best
short-term deal.
Sure.
He knew
Absolutely. He still could have asked for $15 million.
so he's obviously getting the max next contract.
This is not a hockey culture thing. These guys do give pay cuts.
Canadian players do. I don't think Hughes is going to do that next
Absolutely, he
contract.
would. You know, you look at a guy like Matthew Tkachuk could have gotten a max deal with Florida. He didn't ask for a max deal.
Well,
he wanted to build a winner.
They're getting a max deal because of the luxury tax or their income tax.
We've had this conversation. If you have a great accountant, the luxury tax or the taxation system in a province in Canada or in a state of the United States doesn't matter. You can move money offshore. A lot of these guys.
But it's a big difference on what you're getting paid on a weekly basis or a 2-week basis. So they said Brady Tkachuk, with his contract as it sits, let's just say he's only having property in the place that he's living in. He's getting 1.4 million more in Florida than he is in Ottawa with the same contract, everything, because of taxes.
Okay. I'm saying that a nice guy from Michigan is not going to go up to Bill Guerin and be like, I want $18 million a year, or I walk. Okay, I can see.
I just the next refresh I want to see is here. Quinn Hughes, max.
No, you're going to see Jack Hughes for 20 mil out of nowhere, because that's the kind of jerk he is. We're talking about the wrong brother. I think if we had this conversation about Jack, I'd be like, absolutely, Harp, you're 100% right. Jack Hughes doesn't care about hockey. He doesn't care about the New Jersey Devils. He doesn't care about Amro. He doesn't...
I'm sure in negotiations he's like, wait, I got a guy who drafted me pretty high here, Amro Mazu.
I won't sit there to know the character of a guy like Quinn Hughes. I do know he's not asking for max. There will be a discount of some nature there. It might not be as much as I think it is, but it's definitely not going to be as much as you think it is in terms of like what the max deal is going to be. I think it's going to be a happy medium.
15?
Sure. Yeah, that sounds like something where there's enough room there. Again, Kaprizov's taking a lot of the cap next year.
But it's also going up.
I'm sure that's how he justified it to Bill Billy.
It's going up.
Bro. Up. It's going up. Yeah, that's probably what he said to Bill. But, you know, that's a situation where it doesn't follow suit that all the Minnesota Wild players be like, Max. Yeah. Kaprizov got it. I want it too. Kaprizov's like top 5 player in the world. Quinn Hughes is probably the best defenseman in the game right now, probably.
Makar,
Rowensky, that 3.
Yeah, that 3.
That 3 right.
That 3 is interchangeable, like, depending on the season.
I think when you're in a situation like that and you can negotiate the max, a guy like that will probably negotiate down because he wants to leave some room for a Minnesota team that's going to be hurting. They still have some dead money to deal with. And I think he's going to re-sign with Minnesota because he said he had so much respect for Billy Guerin.
Yeah.
Making the deal, sending 4 first-round picks as equivalent to Vancouver to get him over to Minnesota. So I think there's that respect factor that plays into the negotiation a little bit.
Yeah, I think he re-signs with Minnesota. I think him and Guerin probably had a conversation where they were going to be signed before a deal was made, because sending that much to Vancouver and then Quinn Hughes leaving after a year just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Watch now. We refresh this. He gets traded to Florida.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we talked a little bit about their Minnesota. I feel like really they're still going to be a superpower in the West. In my mind, also, Colorado is probably going to be one of those teams. St. Louis doing a few things, too. I mean, they made a few minor deals today, but they've also made some major deals as well in terms of like where they were. They traded quite a few assets. They had a ton of assets in the draft. Lots. And I think they have a team right now led by Robert Thomas that looks like they might be low-key very competitive next year.
Does Robert Thomas stay there? Or is that another piece that maybe St. Louis moves off of him?
I think they look to try and see what they have in youth to make this roster. and then go ahead and see how competitive they're going to be. I don't know if they make a decision on goaltending with Binnington, but in my mind, from what I've heard, players love playing in St. Louis.
Yeah.
They love the city. They can raise their families there. It's a great, Midwestern town that people like really gravitate towards. Very low key, fun to be in as well. Like, you look what happened when they won the Stanley Cup. All the alumni guys were like partying it up with them, getting drunk. They felt like they won the cup in St. Louis, right? So I think that that's a team that again, we look at shifting powers in the West, right? Shifting powers in the East. Lots of mediocre teams. St. Louis is probably like, why not us? Why can't we be competitive?
Yeah.
Right? And they honestly, how many times did we talk about St. Louis last year about making deals and trading? And they refused to do it because they thought, well, maybe we can make it in, right? We had Binnington going to Edmonton for the entirety of the year,
And he should have at that point, but yeah, there was a lot of rumors around St. Louis, and stuff just didn't happen, and including around Thomas as well.
Yeah, I look at what Edmonton is doing right now. It looks like they're going to have to make trades. I say go in on Binnington, make the deal. I don't know if he's a better goalie than what they have, but I do know that he's a winning goalie.
Yeah,
he's won a Stanley Cup and he won a silver medal.
4 Nations he won.
4 Nations. Yeah, let's chalk that up. It's the same kind of tournament.
He was a winner.
Yeah, they have the Pee Wee under 8 years of age softball team in New Westminster. Yeah, you see how I can make up a tournament?
You're playing against Team USA. It's pretty much Canada versus US.
Okay, well, in the tournament that actually counts, okay, US won the gold medal. And I don't take any pleasure to say that, by the way. It's just a fact.
I think you do.
I don't take any pleasure in that, Harp. I'm just pointing out a fact. That's all I'm doing, buddy. So
Steven's guy, Calvin Pickard, gets moved to Minnesota.
So Pickard goes to Minnesota. So that's the thing. I feel like Edmonton's going to have to make trades. It doesn't seem like anybody wants to sign there, which is crazy to me. You have 2 of the best players in the world there.
I think it's the Babcock effect.
Yeah.
No one wants to play for Babcock.
Well, yeah, I think in a situation like that, who they go after, right? I think they need a second line. The Brasovic's gone. He signed with Toronto.
Yeah.
So you need a second line. You need a second line center. A scoring winger would be helpful too. And then you need some depth on defense. And you need some goaltending. So you need everything. If I'm Edmonton, I need everything.
And you need coaching. You need a better coach.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's a cue for you to talk about the water.
Yeah. I didn't know you were gonna take 2 sips right at once there,
but my mouth is parched, so I like to have some water while I'm talking hard. But leaving me out to dry like that doesn't help anything. Dumb fans again. We're dumb fans, folk. This is TSN, but we have the logo up usually. But dumb fans. We'll figure this out. Right? You were saying?
But yeah, I think Edmonton's got to do something. They can't just stay par and stay where they're at, because they're losing pieces and no one wants to play for Babcock. So you gotta make a deal, maybe in a trade, to get somebody better.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think that if you're not, I don't think it's a big selling point to making a deal for someone where you can trade them into Edmonton and make the most of it. But for whatever reason, in this offseason so far, anybody who's a free agent is not looking to go to Edmonton. Now,
for now, it is pretty early.
If I'm Edmonton and I hear the Erik Karlsson news, I go and just throw everything I can.
John Carlson.
Any Carlson. They try to get him into Edmonton. There's a guy on your defensive core that would help stabilize that D core right there.
Maybe it's just the first domino has got to fall for them, which is the Nurse. Maybe they're waiting for a deal with Nurse, and then they go hard on whatever things that their course of action, whatever they want to do.
And honestly, if I'm Carolina and I need a puck moving defenseman,
Carlson's a great fit for Edmonton, I think.
Sure, and Nurse could be a fit for Carolina.
Yeah.
Right? And now that Carlson's a free agent, there's no trade there to be had. They gave up a 6-rounder to get him off the rights out from Anaheim, but I'm trying to move Nurse. It's incredible to me that there hasn't been more interest, but I think the more these weeks go, the more teams start looking at their cap situation. They're like, we're either not at the floor or we don't want to be at the max. So where do we get pieces to help fill us out a little bit? And I think that's where Nurse becomes a little bit more attractive if Edmonton retains salary, which I think is the big sticking point.
I think they have to with Nurse to get rid of him, and I think that you're right in the fact that trades aren't going to happen obviously this week. It's going to be more like who's now available in free agency and who can we do in trades, because if we didn't get the guy we were aiming for in free agency now we got to make some we got to take our second course of action, or the plan B. Plan A didn't work out. Let's go plan B, trade route.
It's funny, this entire time we were talking, and we didn't bring up Calgary one time. I think Calgary should sell their team and send it over to Kansas City.
I think Calgary has a good young team. Like they're going to be the quiet, like, they might not. They're not going to make the playoffs, but
signing on your
they haven't done anything. but they got young guys, and they drafted. I think they got Carroll's first round defenseman.
Yep. Carroll's underrated pickup there, and they have the Russian young guy they picked up from Vancouver in a deal. They sent him over to pick up. The deal escapes me. This was a while back, but I'll think about that. But yes,
So Calgary has a young team that's building, and I think I think they're gonna be low key. What do they really need to do? They don't want to bring in a veteran and overpay. If anything, they're gonna be not selling, but they're gonna make more of a hockey trade. Okay,
it was Kudryavtsev. They sent him to Calgary for Zadorov in the year that the Canucks thought they were competitive.
Yeah, so I think I don't think we're going to hear much from Calgary, and I think it's going to be more just like, okay, let's go what we have.
Yeah, and I think that made things more palatable for Calgary when they sent off Anderson for assets. They're going to have a great defense core. They're going to have a great goaltender for sure.
Couple years down the road, Calgary's going to be they're going to be the ones making the signings.
Yeah, probably. I think you might be right. They did a lot of their busy work during the season when they sent Kadri over to Colorado. Huberdeau, we talked about bad contracts. Pedersen, Huberdeau, terrible contracts. Nurse, awful contracts. There's three guys in the same division who could use a change of scenery. If I'm any team, I'm looking at Huberdeau hard. Honestly, if I'm Carolina, I'm looking at Huberdeau hard. Why is this guy gone from being a 200-point player in Florida to being completely ousted playing Calgary? It was a bad team he got traded to.
This is. I know you're gonna hate me for going back to this point, but this is exact same thing that with the PD situation. He just doesn't have anybody to play with. And I think it's the opposite way around. So Huberdeau went from a team Florida who had everybody. He was playing with Barkov. Barkov went off. And he goes to Calgary and he just does nothing. And that contract looks so bad now.
Yeah.
Petey's the opposite way, okay? He's starting off on this team. He got his 100 points, and then he fell off. Like maybe injuries, maybe personal life, maybe whatever it was. And then he just didn't have anybody to play with to help him. He goes to a team and he's going to do what the opposite of what Huberdeau does in Calgary. He's going to go to a team and go back to that same form, my opinion.
Okay, so Huberdeau had the excuse of landscape where he was playing. PD has played for the same team. You just said it. He played for the same team, 100-point seasons.
So then
falls off a cliff.
But
beefs with his own teammate.
Did he start the beef? Who knows that whole thing
He
was.
started the beef.
Well, they both suck now. Miller and PD.
That's true. They're both terrible.
So I don't, wherever it started from, there's anyways, besides the point, PD is a guy who can still play a very good defensive game, and he's shown that this past season. His points have fallen off. Yes.
Well, I don't think he'll ever get the same.
And I think he will with the right people around him, or a different team or a different environment.
Yeah.
I still think he can get back to it.
I agree with you that the surrounding players around him right now are not capable of elevating his point totals. But the same argument to me would be like, he's the guy who needs to elevate his point totals. He's the centerman. He's the top line center. The standard to which we hold McDavid, the standard with which we hold Kucherov, he's the point getter. He's the guy that they pin the franchise to. And when they did that, he was like, thank you for the money.
Okay, so that's not his fault for the contract that he got. For the contract that he got, it was Vancouver paying him the contract. He showed him his work. Okay, this is my work. This is what I've done. Now you pay me what you want to pay me. We'll negotiate a bit, and they did that. So the contract that Vancouver paid, that's not on him. That's Vancouver paying. That's why. That's why I get it too. Yes, you're right. He's a top guy. He needs to be putting up those points. He's got to be the driving force. But obviously that's not working with who he has. Maybe he's making the passes. The guy just can't tip the puck in. Look at Connor McDavid. Who does he have beside him? He's got Draisaitl and Hyman, who can put the puck in the net. Who does Kucherov have? He has Gensel. He's got Hagel. He's got Point. All these top guys also have like stars around them. Who does Vancouver has stars around Petey?
He sucks. He sucks. Pedersen sucks. Just say he sucks. He's terrible. He's a shit centerman. Just say it.
He's a good centerman. He's a good two-way centerman.
He's terrible.
He just can't put the points. Yes, I get it. He's not putting up the points. But who does he have around him? Every superstar has a star.
I want to tackle you to the floor right now. I want to tackle you to the floor. Just agree. He's terrible.
Every superstar has a star. Petey doesn't.
All right, so that's another episode of Dumb Fans. So agree, disagree. Is Harp, is Amro, one of our crash outs here. We do this a lot, actually, where I'm constantly driving and we get into the whole PD conversation. If you have any thoughts, let us know.
It's going to get ugly when the camera goes off.
Oh, no, we're going to get into a fist fight after. I promise you that. If you have any thoughts on PD or anybody, what you can do now is send us a voice note on Instagram. We'll play it up here for you guys. No one's done that yet at all. So anybody about anything, just send us a voice note. I'll play it here. I don't care. Just do something. A little interaction, okay? We've had over 5,000 views on our Instagram the past 2 weeks here. So you're watching the Instagram. None of you are going onto the YouTube. It's not translating, but the numbers are looking really good so far. Let's get some interactions, okay? Harp, Amro, Dumb Fans.